Grid down. What do? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Big question people are asking nowadays. A lot of people are talking, I see come up in the feed and stuff like that. A lot of channels, a lot of people are talking about grid down. Talking about the loss of our electric power grid. First off, is that likely? Probably. Yeah, I feel it's fairly likely. I think it's a reasonable situation to prep for. I think it's reasonable that it could happen. I think that it's possible. I don't know if it's probable, but I definitely think it's a high probability of coming under attack. Now, I don't necessarily think it would be a nationwide thing because there's so many different sources of power and how the grids are all working, tied and stuff like that. But if it goes down in a couple key areas, then it will draw off of all the other ones, maybe causing them to overload and losing all them. So, what do you do about it? Good question. I'm glad you asked. We'll get to that in a sec. But first off, yeah, they are susceptible to cyber attacks, physical attacks. There's a lot of different ways that our power grid can be affected. EMP, meaning electromagnetic pulse from a high altitude burst, a high altitude nuclear burst. That's what I meant to say. That's where somebody launched a nuke up in the atmosphere over us, and it goes off, and then the electromagnetic pulse comes down in a certain area, wipes out a lot of electronics. Not 100%. It's not it's not one of those situations where a lot of people try to make it sound where everything's going to be out. Newer vehicles will be more affected than older vehicles. If you got like 70s or older, good old carbureted mechanical engines, then those are still going to run. Those aren't affected at all. There's no electronics to fry in them. Some newer vehicles may also be affected by it. Don't worry too much though. Like I said, newer vehicles will be more affected by it, but it's not 100% across the board. Your newer vehicle may still work. You may still be able to use it as a bug out vehicle or to go get what you need. But a situation like that would affect a lot of things. Your ability to get fuel, your ability to go to the grocery store, ATM maybe, your money, the availability to get it, maybe cash only. There's this big push for cashless society. I don't like that whatsoever because it is susceptible to things like this. And if everything's ones and zeros digitally, how easy do you think it is for somebody to shut it down and say, sorry, you can't get what you need if you didn't do A or you didn't do B or we don't like you. That's not a good situation to be in. But there's also, like we've seen, the Colonial Pipeline for fuel got cyber attacked. That's a big concern nowadays, is cyber attacks. Very real, very real threat. So all the stuff I'm talking about, grid down, how to best prepare for it. Well, my best piece of advice is to prepare and live as if you don't need it. Don't rely on it any more than you have to. I get it. We use it. We do our laundry. We light our houses. We use it. But good practice. For a weekend, Saturday and Sunday maybe, go out Friday night and flip your main breaker. Just turn it off. See how well you do. Try to do all your normal things that you normally do. Washing clothes, cooking dinner, all those things. Can you do it without power? I can, because I've done it. I have a wood stove to cook on. My range is gas. All I gotta do is, okay, the automatic lighter starter won't work. All I gotta do is use a lighter or a match or something like that. I could even use a ferro rod and striker to start my stovetop. Some of you may not have the capability though. Do you have space outside where you can go start a campfire? Use your cast iron, which I hope you have. Cast iron rocks. Can you survive? Can you do this? Can you wash your clothes? Do you have some big buckets and a plunger type setup where you can wash them or scrub them manually? That's a lot more difficult. Washboards, old school. What do you have? Do you have the capability of doing that? What about water? What are you going to do about water if you don't have power? Are you reliant on city water? Are you reliant on a well that is a well pump? I am. Just saying. So I won't have the well. Water storage and the location of other water sources around me if I need to replenish my water storage. Very important things. What about watering the garden? Yeah, I'd have to get a lot of water to water all my garden. But that's something you have to deal with. So try to set yourselves up for success by not relying on the grid any more than you absolutely have to. And if you're going off-grid setup, be realistic. You're not going to power everything that you have nowadays unless you have some massive setup and a lot of money and time to put into it. Yeah, it's likely. And it's one of those things that we're probably going to have to deal with. So prepare now for it. That's one good thing about food storage. We talk about food storage all the time. We talk about, beans and rice and corn and lentils and wheat and all these things that are great for bulk food storage. But they need to take a lot of time to prepare. Take water to prepare. And other things. So, rations. There's rations, and then rations can be part of your food storage. But there's rations and food storage, kind of two separate categories I put them in. Ration is something you can eat without any preparation. Canned goods, can of green beans, you can just pop it open and eat it. Canned meat, same thing. It's all cooked, and it's all ready to eat. And sometimes, like canned green beans, have water in there also. Water, right? Drink it. Pour it in your garden. Whatever. Also, there's things like those emergency ration bars. SOS bars. Grizzly bars. Daytrex. UTS. There's a bunch of different survival ration bars like that you can eat. MREs. Most of those camping foods need to be cooked. So those don't really fall into the category. Some freeze-dried stuff does, though, because you can just eat it, crunch on it like it is. Peanut butter. Peanut butter doesn't require any preparation. Think about things like this. What different things are there that don't take preparation? And make sure that you stockpile those also, as well as the bulk items. Speaking of bulk items that also fit both categories, I showed a long time ago, I found as a restaurant supply store, it was a 35-pound pail of peanut butter. So of course I bought it, yeah. Actually, I shouldn't have mentioned to my wife. I was looking at peanut butter, we wanted to get a bunch, and I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was on the phone with her. And she's like, what? And I'm like, there's a 35-pound pail of peanut butter. She's like, oh my gosh, buy it. Oh man, so yeah, we have a 35-pound pail of peanut butter. Jams, jellies, all those kind of things, all the stuff. If you can't do your own canning, that's also, you can eat that stuff without any preparation. So think about things like that. Try to have methods and systems in place that will allow you to thrive, not just survive, in a grid down situation. Are you ready for it? Most of us probably think we might be, but we're probably not. I'm probably not as prepared for it as I think I am. You may be in the same boat also. We all have this perception. If we're not, until you've gone through it, you don't necessarily know if you're ready for it. You can do all you can, yet you still may have some weaknesses. But, we can live through weaknesses. You don't have to have everything good to go 100%. We can kind of make do as people. That's one of the good things. Semper Gumby, always flexible. Being able to roll with dynamic and changing situations and overcome it. That's why I always say the most powerful tool in preparedness is your mind. The mind is the most powerful tool. All the skills, all the knowledge, that stuff. And the ability to, like I said, adapt to fluid and dynamic situations quickly and efficiently. That's one of the biggest skills I learned in the military, is the ability to do that. I guess I probably had some of the ability, I just fine-tuned it in the military through training and experiences. So that's very important. Please find ways to help yourself be more ready and prepared for this specific situation. I think it's very likely, along with a lot of other things. I know, there's a lot. Don't get yourselves down though. Stay positive. Keep prepping a little every day. No matter what it is, do something every day to get yourself more prepared. It could be physical fitness. You can go for a walk. Yeah, something. We're all in this together. We're going to have to get through whatever is thrown at us. So please do your best. Please also, before I forget, please subscribe, please hit the like button, comment below, and share the videos. It really helps out with the algorithm. I love you guys. I'm here to empower and uplift you guys and give you more ideas and try to think outside the box sometimes to come up with unique situations or unique solutions to situations. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.